Welcome to Suman iTTV, India's first and only exclusive IT channel truly dedicated to students, employees, and software professionals, where you can learn, unlearn new things, upgrade your skill set, educate, and empower yourself in IT enabled services. వెల్కమ్ టు సుమన్ ఐటీటీవీ టెక్ టాక్స్. ఈరోజు మనం సెస్రీ ఫౌండర్ హృదేష్ సింఘాల్తో ఉన్నాం. సో అసలు ఈ సెస్రీ ఏంటి, ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఇవన్నీ మనం తనని అడిగి తెలుసుకుందాం. హలో, హాయ్, హౌ ఆర్ యూ? వెల్కమ్ టు అవర్ షో.
Thank you very much.
సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్, వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ సెస్రీ?
CESREI provides education to colleges and university to enhance the employability. The gap that exists between the academia and industry, it tries to fill that.
ఓకే.
And another, we also conduct corporate trainings as well.
బట్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద అబ్రివేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద కంప్లీట్ సెస్రీ మీన్స్?
Yeah, Center for Electronic Systems,
Okay.
Research, Education and Incubation. We strongly believe that the education in itself is not a pillar, but it is a feeder from research and incubation. Until and especially in a tech field, the IT field that we look at, until and unless you are doing an applied research and you are creating certain products and services, and then you feed it to the academia, the
Okay.
gap between the academia and the industry can be bridged. And that's with that mission we have established CESREI.
ఓకే. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఛాలెంజెస్ ద కరెంట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ ఇస్ ఫేసింగ్?
The challenges are multifold. If you look at first and foremost, it starts with the curriculum. The universities have age-old curriculum. While if you look at the field like computer science and all, it's changing every 3 years. New technologies are emerging. While the academia is not keeping pace with it.
The curriculum is not changing as per the technology
It's
is
changing. The pace
Okay.
at which the technology is changing.
Got
Universities are not changing their curriculum at the same pace. So there is a significant gap, and universities are far behind in
for
adopting
the
that.
technology what right now.
Yes, yes. And the second one that comes, the challenge is faculties up to the mark.
Okay.
When I say faculty, instructors that are there, they need to be upgraded continuously. Now, with the academic system that we have built over the years, it doesn't focus on the development of the faculty. While if you look at it, let me give you an example from an industry. In industry, it is compulsory for every individual from an entry-level person to the CEO to invest minimum 40 hours in a year for learning.
40 hours.
40 hours in
Okay.
industry. And especially all the IT and com science industry, you look at it, there it is mandatory. Look at academia, how much time our faculty invest in their development. So until and unless they develop, right, they cannot. And there is no structured approach to tell them how to teach. It's like you learn the teaching, as by birth, not by design. And that's the big gap. We don't teach what are the pedagogical tools that the faculty can use, what are the various frameworks that they can use. If it is an outcome based learning that they need to adopt, how can they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? And those kind of trainings need to happen continuously in academic institutes. They happen. I'm not saying it is completely zero, but they are not as much as that they should be for the faculty to keep up to the pace. And that's where you see most of our faculty, they do the traditional way of teaching, not the newer way of delivering, or pedagogical tools that they adopt. So that's where the challenge is. If we want to address this issue, and I have told it earlier in various forums, first we should address the faculty.
Okay. Not the curriculum.
Curriculum will happen. So whatever is there in the curriculum, if they do that well, still you can make the students placeable. So this is like, step-by-step approach. If you look, first step, if you ask me, what is the first step that we need to do to meet this challenge, to overcome this challenge, it's the faculty. We need to update our faculty, invest into
Okay.
faculty at massive scale, that we need to do it.
So universities or colleges have to train the faculty first, you mean?
In terms of how to teach
How to
effectively.
teach effectively.
That's the first part of the problem. Then upgrading them, keeping pace with the newer technology and all that is a secondary part. First, if I'm an instructor, I must be told how to teach. I must be formally trained into it. I must be certified that I'm a certified instructor or a faculty. That kind of a certification, even the regulatory authorities need to develop that kind of a certification where I'm a certified instructor. We do it in corporates. Anyone who takes the training, he must be first certified.
Okay.
So those best practices which are there, and I think this is not a rocket science. It's a very someone who does something should be certified. If you take a pilot, you say that you must first be qualified for it, right? So what is a qualification for an instructor or a faculty? Just getting a PhD or any qualification cannot be. You should be certified as a qualified instructor
to teach the students especially.
And I think once I said in one of the forums, as we have civil services and judicial services, we should have education services, that Indian education services, where people are trained first before they get into the university and all that, because our faculty are the future of this country. So to meet that challenge, I think you first address the faculty problem.
CESREI is working with the universities, colleges, and the corporates also. So how you are training the corporate people?
Yeah, so corporates, we get usually the problem statement from the corporates. This is the problem that we are facing with our people. So with that business challenge that we get,
like this is about the technology or
anywhere. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is related to the behavior. Sometimes it is related to process. Sometimes it is technology.
It depends.
It depends.
Okay.
So depending on first we get the problem statement or the business challenge that we get it. We convert it into the learning objective. What should be the learning, that is skills that they should have it, so that this problem can be overcome. Then we design the curriculum for it. And when we are designing the curriculum, we keep it very simple way of doing it. If we teach for 1 hour concept and knowledge that you are giving.
Can you give me an example? Give me an example of any problem of one company is having with an employee.
Right. Let me give you an example. One of the GCCs, they were adopting a newer technology, and the teams were not there with them, right? And it was the React Native, and I think few years back. It was few years back.
Okay.
They needed to form a newer team on React, and they did not have it. So they said these are the kind of things that we will do in React Native. Our guys should be able to pick up and do it as soon as they're out of the training. So what we do for it, we understand, okay, this is what the objective, the business objective is, convert it into the learning objectives, and then design the curriculum. When we design the content, right, after designing the curriculum, when we design the content, we ensure that for every 1 hour of concept that we are giving, we give at least 2 to 3 hours of practice and skill development.
Okay.
And that makes a big difference. You don't have to do much. And then I think I would not put it into various kinds of frameworks, academic frameworks. It becomes very, very complex and difficult to understand. But in a very layman language, if you are reading, studying for 1 hour, practice it for 3 hours.
Okay.
Simple. And then you will have your skills ready.
Okay.
Very simple.
So you are saying before practicing it, just read and then practice it. It will be very simple.
Instructor is teaching you for 1 hour. So for example, if I am delivering a training in a corporate, I'll give them the background concept knowledge that is there for an hour. After that, I'll say, okay, this is my case study for you.
Okay.
Do that case study problem. And to solve that problem or the case study, they will take 2 to 3 hours to solve that. And wherever they stuck, as an instructor, we ask those thoughtful questions, thought-provoking questions, not that you give them a solution.
Okay.
As an instructor, I'm responsible for igniting and sparking that trigger into them, that they solve the problem. I should never give a solution to. Yes, they will struggle, but at the end they will reach the
They will reach
destination.
the okay. Okay, before getting into the subject, when you're talking about the students' issues with the universities and the faculty issues and the issue with the employees of the company, how you got this idea to work with the colleges and universities as well as the companies to solve these issues?
Interesting question. As part of the corporate, I was in corporate for 20 plus years, 2 decades and plus. And as part of our regular job, we used to go for campus recruitment. And I think I have traveled east, west, north, south of this country in that 20 years.
Okay.
And I found that even in the best of the institutes, the students are not up to what industry is looking for. And when you talk to the student, you realize the fault is not with the student. Because what that basic attitude that is required, the intelligence that is required, if you talk to the student, you will realize he's having that. But what he's not having, the skills that. And that's the reason you will find that most of the services companies, I think any IT services companies, if you look at it, they have their own universities in which after graduation, 6 months, 9 months, they're providing those trainings. Why? The student should be ready when as soon as he comes out of. They're investing heavily because whatever has not been taught, they're looking for a basic intelligence, the aptitude and attitude of the student, bringing them and then training them for 6 to 9 months to make them, I would put the project ready. That's what they call it in IT services industry, the project ready. So that is a huge investment if you look at. And from a young kid point of view, if you look at it, 9 months he's wasting in doing something that he should have done it in college itself. And how much it affects his career. If he has a 30 years career, this 9 months will make a big difference in his career. So we don't realize that, but we are paying a huge cost of it. And that pain, triggered the idea that we should do something for it.
So you started this CESREI.
Yes.
To help out.
Yes.
Okay, so how we are going to collab between the academia and to the industry?
So this collaboration is very, very important because, one of the issue that you will see with academia is they don't treat industry as their customer. So because their finished good, where is their finished good going? In industry. In industry. Yeah. But they treat as a student, which is raw material for them, as their customer because industry does not pay them. So it's a very typical scenario in academia. They should treat industry as their customer. Whenever you treat them as a customer, what do you do with the customer first? You understand their requirements. What does my customer need? Right? That's the first thing that we do. So that will happen. And if they start looking at academia or academia start looking at industry as their customer, the second part, their leadership should invest time with the industry. Because in any industry you go, the leadership spends 2/3 of their time with the customers, either existing or potential customers. Same needs to happen in academia, that their leadership needs to spend time with the industry. Then with that, what will happen? You will understand the issues and challenges that are there in the industry. Come back to your research and to your lab and start solving. Do that research that will be relevant for the industry. The second part, which has it, but academia is not using it extensively.
Okay.
All the big companies are having their own university, and they have the content also. They have the case studies also that academia can use. They have developed it for their people, industry people.
Okay.
And they have a university program also. Most of the use that.
Okay.
The third one that they need to, when they are designing the program, give sufficient time for skill development. It is not necessary, I keep saying it is not necessary that you teach fancy newer technology also. Now, if you look at IT, I always say learn three things: data structure and algorithm,
Okay.
deeper, SQL, and system design. These three things, if a student learns it, has skills, if I give a any problem statement, he can give me a pseudo code either in C++. I think there are enough takers for those kids. You don't need and these are the things that AI can also not do it, because designing a system is something that you human can only do it. AI will not be able to do that, and for that companies are willing to pay a premium for it. Yes.
Okay.
Just base, but this is the most difficult one. They need to practice a lot. The faculty need to be prepared for it. They need to do multiple case studies, assignments, assessments into it. Just this base, and this is a basis of any languages and all that will keep coming and going. Right? If yesterday it was C++, or today it is Python, tomorrow it is R, or any other language that keep coming. I think if you look at it, every few years the new languages keep coming, and you will keep learning in your career. But the foundation that is there, for example, you need a computer architecture if you are going to be in a product development. Can you architect a product, a system? Companies are willing to pay premium to such kids.
So is this possible to everyone, you mean?
Yes, possibly. We have proven it. It is possible. I think the experiment that we have done with the universities and all, I think it is possible to do that. It's only, there are certain limitations that academia has it because of curriculum, university system, the university examination system. There are constraints. I'm not saying that they don't have constraints, but leadership is all about working within the constraints and make it successful, right? So they can do it. In many colleges and universities where leadership is progressive, we have done it, and we have shown that it works. It works.
So through CESREI till now, how many colleges, universities, or companies is tied up, and your services you have been into this?
So I think universities a dozen kind.
Okay.
Across
India.
Across India, and around 35 or 40 companies, and all tech companies.
Okay. And any future plans to extend the company into the global level?
We have the aspiration to have India's first digital university, which is focused on skills, and only for the computer engineering domain, so that we can fill the gap between the academia and industry and make engineers that can build the future of this country.
What about the internships for the students into the industry?
One is, I think, from a regulatory point of view now, for engineering students, AICT has made internship mandatory. From a regulatory point, they have done it. But what is required? I think India today has, around 15 lakh engineers come out. How to provide internship at that level? Now, for that, a massive level exercise between the regulatory body, industry body, companies, academia, all of them coming together, all the stakeholders come together to create a system, because many Indian companies still do not have a system of internship. For them, it is a burden. I'm very honest about it. But they feel that, if you talk to the leaders, they say, oh, I'll have to teach this kid, I have to invest my time into it, I already don't have time and all of that. But I feel, from an industry and from an academia point of view, internship is the right way. Get the projects, problem statements that the industry can give it to the kids, let them search, let them work on it. And the only thing that is missing at present is the duration is very less. Because
Duration of?
Internship.
Okay.
Duration of internship. They say, a company say, let's say if it is a 90 days or 45 days. I take 1 month to just, bring him up to what is to be done, because that enablement is required for the student, because it's a young kid. I think just not even some of them have not even completed their teenage. So they needed to be enabled. They say by the time I enable internship is over.
Yeah.
So they say if I'm investing, let's say 1-2 months and into any student, he should be there for at least 6 to 9 months. I think many global companies have a policy, even in India, that unless colleges are allowing for a 9 month, they don't take, because they say that I need to get a value out of it. And he or she will not come with the speed that first enablement, then he will take time to get to that rhythm, to understand the system, to that speed of work and all of that. He will come. So 3-4 months go into it. If he doesn't deliver for next 3 to 4 months, it is a waste exercise for the industry. And that's one of the reasons that industry is not very keen for a shorter duration of internship. It needs to be a longer duration so that they can, and in that, student develops very critical skills, not only technical but also behavioral skills and communication skills, because he's working in that ecosystem. He needs to talk to, let's say, whosoever is a guide for him, that leader. He needs to work with him, so he learns that. And in corporate, very important thing that happens is the feedback is instantaneous. The leader will give you feedback instantaneously,
and they have to take that feedback, to be honest.
Yes.
If it is in a negative or positive itself, they have to,
Yes. So those who want to, there are enough opportunities, and in corporate there are enough resources also to learn.
Exactly.
Kids can learn, students can learn. If they have that fire and a desire into them, they can learn, and it can build a very strong foundation. If they have developed that skills and then implement it in internship, they have a very solid future. I think no denial for their bright future if they can do both these. Is a very solid combination for students.
And beyond curriculum, the student, what they need to have
understood that the gap is there, and changing the university system is a long-term plan.
Curriculum,
it will take its own time. So what can academia, the colleges and the engineering colleges do? Encourage students to do projects, encourage students to participate in hackathons, encourage students to develop open source. These 3 things that they must do that. Encourage them as much as, for example, if you are going to a hackathon, you need to think of a product, at least a prototype you will take, POC you will take, that itself is good enough for you to do that and showcase to your potential employer that this is what I worked on. Howsoever it's small or big, that is not important. But you are thinking, because it is developing those thinking skills. It is developing those problem solving skills in you, because this is a gap or this is a problem that I'm seeing. I need to solve it, and you are using a technology to solve that problem. So do you develop whatever that we are saying, that our students are not coming with those skills when they participate in these hackathons or projects that are there and open source. Then they develop all those behavioral or soft skills that we talk about, because technical skills are important, but along with that, they are not sufficient. Along with that, you need to have very strong your behavioral leadership skills.
More than important of the technical skill.
Not more than. I think I would not say more or less. Along with that, you definitely need a leadership skills to grow. Might be today when you are joining, it is okay to have only technical skills, but if you want to grow, you must have those leadership skills with you. Then only you will be able to grow. And look at all the people. I think if we look at last 40-50 years, where the technology revolution has been there in this country, all the leaders who have grown, they had very
Leadership
good
skill.
leadership skills.
Yeah.
Starting whether it is about discipline, whether about clarity of thought, whether thinking about long term, communicating very, very clearly, all of that, I think if you look at it, all of them are having, invariably, they will be having all those skills. They have worked on it. See, it is not that every skill you will come and born with. And then that's what I think many of the great leaders have told. Leaders are not born, they are made. So you learn these skills over a period of time.
Yeah.
But you have to invest time into it. The earlier you do it, the better it is. And when you are in college, that is the time, that's the best time, because
they don't have any other things in their mind.
Exactly. I think your total focus is on one thing. And that's where I always say, do as much as you can.
Yeah. Experiments.
Do experiments. Things will fail. In academia, let it fail. You are not going to lose anything.
Yeah.
If you have identified a problem, you thought of a solution, it did not work, it's okay. Yeah. You're not going to lose anything. So every coursework that we do, I think that that should be done in our courses that we do. We made it compulsory that every course will have a project.
Okay. So CESREI is having any portal, or how it's going to?
No, we don't have a portal because either the live sessions that we are doing it, or face-to-face sessions that we are doing it. We do not have the plans to have the portal also.
So Hridesh, I mean, keeping aside of CESREI and connecting the colleges, universities and the companies, I just want to know, what is your suggestions or guidance to the students? What type of courses or technologies they need to learn right now in the market, what they need?
Right. So as I said, that for any building to come, right, your foundations should be very, very strong. That is non-negotiable. And for the foundation, what I said is your data structure algorithm, SQL, the system design. I think all of that, they must be extremely good at that.
That is basic. They have to know.
They have to know. That is non-negotiable. Now, usually with UG students, the expectation is that you should have a good foundation, I think, across the globe.
Yeah.
However, in India, there is a trend that students should learn the latest also. In the latest also, I would say that the data science, where you use your statistical skills, your programming skills, and your visualization skills, all of them together. So that is one. And if you look at it, your communications, and when I say communication, and technological communication, not the behavioral communication, your communication, data, all of that makes an AI basically, and the processing of the data that makes AI. So foundation point of view, if you have, because this is very adjacent to what you learn. You have learned the maths and all that. So statistics is closer to what you have done. And already engineers come with a stronger background in mathematics, right? So it is easier for them to learn it and do it. So I would say that it is data science, machine learning, which are very, very adjacent to whatever that they are doing it. They should do it, and they should avoid doing a specialization at the UG level. That's my recommendation. Yeah, they look at everywhere in the globe. I think if you look at it, they say UG is just for foundation. We want kids with a strong foundation. Yes, if they want a specialization, go and do your masters. Whether let's say if you want to do, you have done a communications and electronics, go and do it in, let's say, chip design. Your masters. Don't try to do the chip design and fit it into the UG part of it. It becomes too much, and the kid will not be able to do the justice. So my recommendation is, if you want any specialization, go for masters. But otherwise, have a very strong foundation for what it takes to learning a language is an easy part. Trust me onto it. Any language you can learn it, and nowadays with the automated help that comes to you, right, it is very easy for you to.
So your suggestion is be thorough with the foundation.
You will have enough. And I think I always say, if you want to learn, the mother of all the languages is C. Be strong in C, and this data structure algorithm, that whichever project
SQL,
that you do,
you're saying.
SQL, do the data structure part and all that, do it in C. Practice it in C. There are enough takers for this itself.
Okay.
Companies are looking for guys. I think if they get 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people today, they will take it. They'll say that if you have that foundation, we know that you will build anything.
Okay.
But if kids are enthusiastic, they must learn. I think then I would say that adjacent, once you look at it, don't go too far onto it. The data science, machine learning, and those are important things. While some of the languages, as we say it, Python has become as good as a C and very strong, and it can be used for data science, data analysis, AI, for all of them. I think even LLMs have been developed using Python. So Python has become a very universal language. It must be learned, but I think my emphasis is lesser on the languages part. Pick up one language, learn it end to end, strong into any one language. But I think your foundation, which I said, the data structure and algorithm, architecture, SQL, system design, they are more critical for you.
The fundamental,
the foundation, this is the foundation, and this will not change even if the technology changes tomorrow. These are not going to change.
And there are a lot of jobs here.
There is a friend of mine, and he's a end-to-end technocrat, have done multiple startups and all that. He says 40 years back, what he studied, as a computer architecture, it is still valid. And he designs the product using those architectural concepts even today. But he has developed, AI products that he has, medtech product he has developed. He has developed, chip he has developed, and he has developed EDA tools and all of that. So best of the best technology he has developed. And his statement, I asked him, he says, one, my fundamentals of computer architecture are absolutely clear, and I use those fundamentals to design my product. They have not changed. Yes, now sometimes he is using embedded systems to medtech, sometimes other things he's using for chip design and EDA tool. He's using a system Verilog, those type of languages. He says, okay, I'll pick up, I'll do that, but my foundation is still the same. I can build anything onto it if that foundation is there.
I understand. So you are saying strongly the foundation should be the basic, and it should be very strong,
and especially for the UG student. What companies look for, your fundamentals are strong, then you can build any building. Because anyway, you are going in a knowledge economy, knowledge companies that you are going to, you will continue to learn for next 30 years.
And every time it's going to change all the technologies.
What languages that were there, like let's say 30 years back, mainframes were there. Now I think they're not there at all. After that, client server technology has come, then multiple other things that have come. So technology will keep evolving, but if your fundamentals are strong, they will always remain. You will build any building onto them.
Thank you so much, Hridesh, and it is a wonderful time to talk with you about the students and the companies and the universities also. Thanks a lot for sharing your experience and knowledge with us.
Thank you very much.
సో చూసాం కదండి, ఎవ్రీ స్టూడెంట్ మీరు ఏం చదువుకున్నా సరే ఫౌండేషన్ చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్గా ఉండాలి అని అంటున్నారు. ఈ కంప్లీట్ వీడియో చూడండి, మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే కింద కామెంట్ చేయండి. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. స్టే ట్యూన్డ్.